Good morning, Cedra, and good morning, Philippines. Have a look at the map. So my guess is, because it seems to be pounding Leyte and Bohol right now, I would suspect in an hour or so here, we're going to get this little pocket of red. It's moved north, guys. Whoo! If you can see that red there, Luzon is going to pay a big price today. And probably Samar and southern Luzon. Not sure how Angeles is going to go. Not sure. Okay, so again, we've got our windows going in. They took the skin off this one. It looks good. I come around the corner and there she is. Bah! Now I've been informed that we are supposed to receive 100 of these dwarf seedlings, and we are going to be putting 100 of these things. There's a bunch more over there on the farm on the West Coast Highway Drive. We have a farm over there. Lynn's family. Obviously, I don't own anything here, but I do have a contract that states that I get to use this land for as long as I want without being bullied off or anything like that. Lynn's family isn't like that, but you know, things change when money gets involved, right? Datoy and Rosindo will keep painting the red oxide onto the fencing, and once it's up, we will use like foam rollers and roll it a second time once it's in place. There's going to be stuff that gets missed, right? You got to hit it twice. That's all there is to it. Ah, good morning, Cedra. She's nesting here, guys. Okay, so we left the light on in the house last night. Lynn was so happy about that. Isn't that right, Lynn?
What?
You were so happy to leave a light on overnight.
Yeah.
So this weather that we were supposed to get is just arriving now. We're getting just a light Scotch mist and periodic little drizzle added to it. But I'm expecting some pretty heavy downpours if the satellite maps are true to form. What was interesting though was that about 9 o'clock this morning, the weather map said we should be in the middle of it. And what I suspect is that the overlay map is a little bit off. A little bit. It happens with these sites, right? Okay, cool. Now we got to get sanding this deck area here the instant somebody has finished their major task. Right now it's just fine-tuning the walls on the inside, guys. That's the major thing, is fine-tuning. You know, there's here, let me show you here. Maybe you can see that scratch there that goes along here. That's the kind of stuff that once you paint, you can actually see it a lot easier compared to when it's just the mud, right? The white really shows your shadows quite nicely. Okay, Joseph is making more adhesive to go above the windows, and yeah, that's good. Michael is starting the siliconing. And this is where this painting is coming in handy. Emot can see it much better, and then he just goes in and touches up. He's got a good eye. Here comes the rain, tweedle-deedle. Here comes the rain. Well, it's all right. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Not much of a singer, am I? But it's upon us, guys. Here we go. Let's see how long this lasts, because it is pushing north, so we'll see. We will see if that second wave tomorrow actually happens or not. We're having a little relief from the rain. It hasn't rained now in about an hour. Boo! Anyway, this old carcass wants to talk to you about medical stuff that you might want to bring with you. I got the sty in my eye, and I had a video call back to Canada and talked to my doctor, and it's all good. He, 10 days, he figures it'll all be over, but, like everybody cites, put warmth on it so that you can help the circulation and such. One thing I don't have in my kit is a gel pack or anything to put. We do have ice packs, which can be warmed, but they're kind of a solid thing and they don't really fit on the eye, right? So I've actually been using a hot water bottle, so that's another thing that we brought from Canada, which will help other things that you might have going on with you. But other things that we've brought are things like polysporin, Bactaban, iodine, potassium iodide. It's at least food grade, okay? You can get betadine here, which is a form of iodine as well. What else have we got? Well, we brought a CPAP machine. It's my dad's old machine that could be done as a DIY for somebody that may have to be taken out of the hospital. You've got a nurse, maybe you can't get the actual machine to apply a little bit of oxygen, but you can always get the cylinders, right? So a little DIY that might work there. Of course, regulator, you have to be careful, right? But that's what a nurse would be for. Brought a blood pressure machine and a few other things that have come in handy actually so far, not just for myself, but people around me, etc. If you're going to do your diabetes checks here, make sure that your machine is available here in the Philippines, because if it's not, then you're not likely to get strips, okay? So think of other things that you should be bringing with you guys, especially if you're going to be here for a while. I don't believe in these expiry dates on most of this stuff. Let's face it, if it's sealed and it's in a metal container like Bactaban would be, or polysporin, what's the likelihood of it ever going bad? I mean, really, come on. Most of this is just an over-cautionary thing that has become a regulatory thing, right? So that's what I want to bring that message to you guys. I'd also like to add things like that Lynn and I have brought in our Billig buy-in box. Well, this year there was a very good sale on dishes, pots and pans more specifically, and Corelle dishes. Everything here is plastic, guys. It is plastic. And if you're going to, again, like anything else, if you're going to look for something Western, you're going to pay extra money for it here. That's just the bottom line. And since you already have pots and pans in your drawer, why wouldn't you bring them with you? You can bring up to, what is it, 100 pounds, so 2 50-pound bags, I think is how it works out. Stuff your socks in the pots and pans and just bring them with you. You'll find it frustrating, guys. The quality of even the non-stick pans and stuff like that just isn't the same. It just isn't. And if you go for a name brand, is it a knockoff? Lots of knockoffs here on all sorts of things. So there we go. We're going out for dinner tonight with a new couple that we met, and we're going to introduce them to Rockin' Pizza. And the sky is actually broken enough that I wonder if this is going to be stopped for a while. Anyway, I'm draining off the 50-liter tote down to about 50-liter tote. Come on, Ken. I'm going to drain it down to 500 liters and buffer it a little bit because we haven't had any rain for an hour. So I'm draining off a little bit of the water. Again, buffering, that's what I'm calling it, right? We're buffering the water so that it's not all just a torrential downpour off of your gutters, and we will do similar off of our house. We will use IBC totes to buffer the water, buffer the rainwater. Okay, let's go see what's going on in the house. Joseph and Datori are working on our fence sections, so they're getting those ready. And thanks to John for the idea of the passion fruit. Lynn likes the idea of blending up a number of different things along this fence. And this room isn't quite done yet. We've got 3 windows to finish, one being in the ensuite. And until that is done, we won't be painting this room. As soon as it's done, then we will paint this room and then block it off so nobody goes in here. I don't want any scratches on the wall, etc. This window is now complete with all the silicone and everything all the way around it. I've got a little bit more work to do on this one over here myself. I take little projects within the house so that the guys see me working. And what do we got going on outside? I still love those windows, guys. They open, slide backward, forward. There's no such thing as a right-hand window and a left-hand window. Okay, Emok and Victor are putting courses on of putty in the deck area here and finding all of the sort of the high and low spots and just dealing with that and the pock marks that might be in there. As far as final finish, that will probably happen next year, but we will get a paint layer on it just to, you know, seal it, so to speak. Later, Gators.